What's going on, Reefers? Blaine here out in St. Cloud, Florida, and inside this trailer is a 575-gallon custom tank install. And today I'm gonna be walking you guys all through this process. We're gonna get the tank, we're gonna get the sump, and we're gonna get the stand all together inside. Then we're gonna get things plumbed out and get all the equipment on. Let's go ahead and check it out. Started off our morning by getting the truck in place and loaded up all the equipment needed for the job. After all of that was placed, we got the water vat filling up and we were on our way. Once the truck's load was strapped down and ready, we made our way down to St. Cloud, Florida to start this install. When we got on site, the crew was already getting right to it and already had the stand inside the home. The Poseidon Reef Creation sump was next to get into the house. The crew got it onto a dolly and easily got it inside. Once I got the chance to take a better look at this bad boy, I was pretty blown away. With both the stand and the sump inside, it was time to start prepping the stand for electrical. The custom stand was made to match the custom cabinet work in the kitchen, and it was a perfect match. 2 holes were drilled to have access down below to the electrical on the floor. This, in my opinion, helped keep things nice and clean and overall help with the tidiness of the system. Let's talk more about this sump. Loaded with 2 Reef Mat 1200s, a Reef Octopus Regal 300 skimmer, 2 Vectra L2s, and a Neptune core, giving us all the flow we need. And to top it off, a couple Bashi reactors, a Tunzi macroalgae reactor, and a Helios heating system to complete things in the sump. The team got to prepping, getting some pre-plumbing done, and getting the check valves all hooked up. Once everything was prepped that could be done, it was time to get this under the stand. It took a good chunk of the team to make sure that this sump got down below safely. And once that was accomplished, the ATO reservoir was added in. Seeing this sump underneath the stand really started to bring this build to life and started to show the sheer size of this system. Now it's time for the fun part. Let's get to moving the tank in and getting it onto the stand. This was all hands on deck, and we had the entire team helping out. Once we got close to the door, we popped off the hood to ensure we could focus strictly on the tank and getting it onto the stand. Once through the doors, it was time to get this tank into its forever home. The process of getting these big tanks onto their stands is a long process, but any false movements could mean the end of the entire install. The team taking the time to get this tank onto its stand is just a testament of what Top Shelf Aquatics can do for the client with any install. Once the tank was jacked up and the foam was all in place, it was time to start shifting this tank over and getting it ready. With the team pushing forward and Alex guiding us into the final resting point, the tank was finally home. One last time using the jack to get all the foam out of the way, and boom, the stand, sump, and tank are now all inside and ready to get online. I can't deny this is one beautiful system. Love to hear down in the comments below what you would stock this tank with if you had it in your home. All right, we've got the tank on the stand, and as you can see, this thing is a beast. We have the team working on getting everything plumbed out and all the equipment online, so stay tuned as we start working through that. With the tank in place, it was time to start focusing down below. On site, there is a lot of years of experience when it comes to getting these tanks plumbed out. And with that red accent, things are starting to look super clean. Once everything was mapped out, wires got laid out on their tracks, piping was cut to size, and the gluing began. Even with last-minute adjustments per the client, the team is able to fill those wants. With all final measurements, it was time for final gluing to get this system ready for water to run through it. There's the wizard plumber right there. He's absolutely crushed it with this plumbing setup, super clean, and I can't wait to show you guys the finished product here soon. With the hood off and into the garage, the team could start measuring and planning out how we want to set the lights on this system. With the center overflow, some thought has to be put into this to make sure that we get the proper spread throughout the entire tank. There's a lot of moving parts when it comes to these custom installs, and right now we're getting ready to start grabbing the sand out of the moving truck, and then we're gonna get some water into the tank. On Thursday, we're gonna do a full tank transfer from his original system into the new one, so we gotta start getting ready to go and getting this tank up and running. With a full tank transfer ahead of us, we knew we would want to remove all the old sand and discard it, and so we could start with a fresh canvas. The risk of moving old sand to a new system is far too high and something we at Top Shelf do not recommend. To help with the overall microbiome, we are using Caribsea live sand, which will help with our beneficial bacteria population in the new system. Once the sand was in place, Gene got right to work up top, getting the plumbing and the overflow set, and the pipe that would be leading our wires down from our lighting. With it being just the first day of the install, we plan to fill the tank halfway to keep the beneficial bacteria happy and alive before we came back to wrap everything up. All right, day one is wrapped up on site. We've got the tank inside the house, we've got some sand in there, and we've got some water flowing through. I have to say, big shout out to the team because they've crushed this install. It was my first one here with Top Shelf Aquatics, walking through and checking out the entire process, but I have to say, the team did an amazing job, and I can't wait till Thursday. Speaking of Thursday, we're gonna be getting this canopy on top, and we're also gonna be doing a complete tank transfer from his old system into his new one. Day two of the custom tank install down in St. Cloud is upon us. We're at the client's house now. We're gonna be breaking down 2 of his reef tanks. We're gonna get all the fish, all the corals, and then we're gonna head south and get them in their new home. Getting right into things, the first tank was simple enough with just a wrasse and an eel living in it. No corals and just rocks. So the team was quick to getting things buttoned up for this system, and once cleared out, things were moved out to our box truck. The first tank is broken down. Now it's time to move on to the big reef tank. This is the tank with all the fish and all the corals, so time to get to moving. This tank is a different story than the first one. Packed full of rockwork, corals, and fish, this will take a little bit more time to break down. The team grabbed the brute cans and the buckets and began breaking down the scape piece by piece. Once the tank was cleared out, we gathered all of the livestock and all of our things and got them packed up into the box truck and vans. What normally would take people a whole day to do, the team was able to do in the matter of a couple hours. We're all loaded up. It is hot. We've got all the fish, all the corals loaded up into the vans. I cannot wait to get these guys to their new home. Let's go headed south. Back on site here, we have all the fish. We gotta get them moving inside so that way they're all safe and sound. But we're gonna go ahead and start getting all the rock, all the equipment, everything else into the house. With no time to waste, the team got right to work. We brought every bit of livestock inside the temperature-controlled home and out of the truck and vans. Once it was all inside, it was time to start placing all of the rock work. The client mentioned that they wanted to do some of the main rockscape themselves and wanted us just to get the previous rock work into the tank as much as we could. All of the fish were put into the tank and extra oxygenation was added as well until things were flowing. The scape has begun, the fish are in the tank, and we're gonna start putting all of the corals in. This tank is definitely coming together. We got Greg getting all the wiring done down below, and the sump is starting to fill up. Now the moment of truth. The remainder of the tank began to fill up and the crew sat with anticipation to get the full system online. Once the tank was completely filled out, the fish that once looked huge in their last home now had the space to swim and explore. Last minute touches were done to the sump, and then the main focus was shifted to getting all the equipment ready to be online. With controllers hung up, algae reactors lit up, the sump down below was ready to rock. Water flowed over the overflow, and the system was officially online. With not a single drip coming from the plumbing, all things were looking perfect. About to wrap up for day 2. We just need to finish up with the canopy. Once we get that on, I'll show it to you guys and we'll get out of here. Once we got the hood on, we ran wires and got the lights online. This tank is looking unreal. Let's go ahead, sit back, relax, and enjoy some shots of this new system. right, that's a wrap for our first custom install on the Top Shelf Aquatics YouTube channel. You guys saw the tank moving into the house, you saw a full tank transfer, and you guys got to see the final product. Be sure to drop a comment down below your favorite part of this entire video. If you guys have watched till the end, I want to say thank you so much, and be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any future uploads.